it gets hard.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the official Reddit.com our Wetshaving 2021 podcast. Dawn of the final week. We have a hell of a show for you guys this week, and in fact, much like every other week, this is a show that I was absolutely here for. I was not gone in the hospital the whole time, and I'm definitely not doing voiceover work the next day. With me this week is our usual lineup of just fantastic hosts. Well, we have our average Joes who have taken up the mantle of the entertainment industry and turned into titans of radio personality. First up, let's hear from the one and only.
Yes, I'm here. Number one in the streets, number one in your heart. Thanks for having me this week.
Also with us this week, the indomitable Whiskey.
Yep, glad to be back. Hopefully sounding a little bit better. Still fighting off this cold, but we'll give it a go.
You know him as the surly New Yorker. It's Jeff M54321.
Come on now, guys. It's not the same thing. Long Island is in New York State, but New York State and New York City are two different things. Mammoth Soaps might be based in New York City, but me, Jeff M54321, I do not live in New York City. Capiche?
Also with us this week, the official rules liaison and reigning member of the Canadian DQ Police, USS SpongeBob.
Hey everybody, I'm back again. I haven't been here about 2 weeks, and I've got a different microphone this time, so I probably don't even sound like the same person.
So before we get into the recap this week, we want to hit you with some statistics, which we know you love. So far, we have 157 people participating in the games, and about 90 of them have shaved for all of the 25 days so far that we have covered or will cover on the podcast. So there's quite a lot of people who are in the running for those prizes. We have logged 2,770 shaves in the first 27 days for an average of about 110 per day. And our average judge score is still hovering right around a 2.5 out of 5. This week's most generous judge is now Tonality, who took the title from IMSMS, and the harshest judge remains Visceral Watch. And one thing that's really interesting is that we've had, just looking at the judge scores, we've had pretty much the same top 10 players since the first week. And people started off strong. They came in gunning really, really hard, and they've kept up that level. And so the top players have really stayed as far as who the top players are since that first week. But the order changes daily as the judge points come in, because depending on the judge rotation, it's not the same judges looking at the same player every day. And so some judges might think that someone is putting in, 5 out of 5s, and some judges might think they're only 3 out of 5s, whatever. And so as the average changes, the rankings change. And every single day, the rankings have drastically changed, although the top players have more or less stayed constant. And so with 5 days left to judge, the top players can drastically continue to change in the next few days. And so we had kind of expected maybe, much like with Cosmo last year, it was like, okay, this guy is probably going to win from day one. But with this year, we have no freaking idea who is going to win. Like, we have an idea of who the winners are going to be, but who's going to be first place, second place, third place is completely up in the air still, because the margins separating the top players are minuscule. We talked about last week how there's less than 1% of 1% of a point. And that continues now. The amount of points separating each player is so tiny that a single day of judging can elevate someone multiple ranks or similarly knock them down. So until the final day is judged, we on this side who have all the data have no idea who's going to win. And that's actually a really cool thing because it's going to be a huge surprise for everybody. So that said, let's get into the recaps.
Alrighty, so on Juneteenth, was the featured artisan was Ben, Mammoth Soaps. So everyone used Mammoth, and the daily challenge was a lather on a plate. So these are the shaves that stood out. First off the bat, I don't know if you guys saw this or who judged it. Major Mincemeat, he planned this one ahead. I don't know if he wasn't tipped to the daily challenge. Nobody was, but he sure was prepared. I think just being a fan of Ben's, might have seen it coming, and he bought a $1,000. Well, allegedly, somehow came into the possession of a $1,000 specially made lather plate printed by Dr. Roeder. Except he forgot to use it.
Yeah. Yeah, don't bury the lead. He did the whole shave and didn't even use the lather plate. I mean, technically, there at the very end, he did a few cursory lather swirls, so maybe officially he did, but yeah, he totally did that whole shave, several passes, didn't use the lather plate.
Was he sober?
Is he ever? I don't know.
Because
he keeps it pretty twisted
on his shaves in the past.
Yeah, I don't know, but he copped to it. He had it all prepared, and the best laid plans sometimes. You know how it goes.
Hopefully he got a little discount on that plate.
I don't know, but moving on to Dr. Roeder, though, he found himself in a bed and breakfast, brought his shave wares along, and had a very cozy shave in bed.
I did see
that. You guys should check this out. So he used Higa. Is that right? Higa? He linked a video on how to say it so that we wouldn't forget, but I guess I need to watch that video.
Something like that.
What's that?
Sort of like Hugga or Huga,
Hugga?
something like
Higa?
that. It's weird.
It is a weird word, but it's basically like it's a comfy place, right? It's like a warm, soft embrace, comfy blankets and all that. So he did his comfiest and shaved in bed at the bed and breakfast, and he didn't have his lather plate. Again, presumably because Major Mincemeat bought it.
One.
It was a very, very, very fancy plate that he took from the bed and breakfast. Very fancy.
Yeah, so
looked very expensive.
R.I.P. to whoever got that plate and is eating their croissant off it right now or morning. But he did not have the 3D printed
tastes a little soapy.
Yeah, sorry guys. That residual slickness is a bitch. So yeah, that was a good one. June July, he's been making these clay brush handles. I don't know if y'all have been seeing these. They are awesome.
I don't know how he's using. I don't know if they're getting hard but they're awesome.
Making me hard. But yeah, he's got these.
Hard.
He's got these things. So he made a mammoth handle. It looked like an elephant. I don't know what the difference is. I'm not a scientist or whatever, but he made a very cute, adorable mammoth brush handle. You guys should check that out too. And then I think
he also made a mammoth lather plate as well.
Yes.
Yep.
And that was the deal. Like it was very high effort. The mammoth label was, he did the whole thing, but in clay. He fashioned the entire plate out of clay.
Yeah, it was really a very well made plate.
Yeah.
Very well made. And then also noted, didn't write enough of the names down, unfortunately. Preparation's not really our thing. But Sahenders and several others, they made donations in honor of Ben. So for Sahenders in particular, he timed his shave, and for every 50 seconds he went, he donated, every minute he donated 50 cents for his shave. So he ended up donating like $30 to Love 146, which is Ben's human trafficking charity. So that was neat to see, and several others stepped up. And again, this might have been like sort of Pyro's push for the whole charity giving.
Yeah, I don't know if Pyro's updated it, but I mean, Russia's auctioned off stag sets. I mean, it's got to be over $2,000 already.
Yeah, where's that stag's auction at? Is that finished yet? Is it still ongoing?
It was sitting on, I believe, Misplaced Texan at about $115.
Wow. Yeah, last I saw it, Sugar Daddy and Pyro were going back and forth on it.
I think Misplaced Texan popped in there and grabbed it, but it's still going till Monday.
They were besmirching Stag, but yeah, that was great. So good work, everybody, for your, benefits and awareness and everything that you're doing, giving back. It's just really cool to see. And finally, Nonsense of Sight. This one, so he wrote a song for Mammoth. There have been many songs. This one, though, had some professional musicians, and it felt a little bit like cheating because it was too damn good.
This had multiple. This had a judge helping him.
It was like multi-tracked harmonies, pianos, instruments.
He had. I know he linked it. If anybody sees this and doesn't know, it was. I'll dox him if anybody does. It was Visceral Watch in the background, and his wife.
That's the best original song I've heard in Lather Games history. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of Lather Games. Heard a lot of original songs. That was great. It was catchy. And I guess he roped Visceral Watch and his wife into this too. And they're both
recorded it. He ended up editing his post, I think, but he recorded it himself, I guess, like kind of basically, and then he went back and had the Visceral Watches, help him.
The Watches, yes.
The Watches, the HD Shaves, I'm not sure which, but either way, that was a phenomenal. And that one was an original song. I think, have we had anything but parodies so far?
Ruger might have had some originals last year. I don't know about this year.
Yeah, we've had a couple now. If only Nonsense of Sight, he's done a couple others. But yeah, they're very, very good. So yeah, check that one out or listen to it now, maybe, Steven.
Also, shout out to Mrs. Visceral Watch for being a supportive spouse. She nailed those harmonies too. She's obviously, they're professional musicians; they're good at this stuff. But yeah, I highly, highly recommend y'all listening to that. It's super catchy. I listened to it probably, 15 times or so.
Let's take a break and enjoy the original work of Nonsense of Sight featuring the HD Shaves family.
Once upon a time there was a soap-making elephant. He made soap cause he loved soap, not because he had to pay the rent. But then one day the rest of the world found out about the elephant's soap. Then one day the rest of the world found out about the elephant's soap. Suddenly the soap, you see, sold out very rapidly because of all the love that he had poured. You try and tell a shaver they can't have the latest flavor, you get crucified on their message boards. You get crucified on their message boards. And people tried to sell his soap for more than they paid. Flip a puck for profit made the elephant rage. And then some douche in a video said he punched the elephant's face. Sometimes I can't believe this place. Things you cannot take away. You can't take back a summer day. You can't take back the night sky up above. The elephant does not forget or put much weight on empty threats. The elephant remembers soap and chooses to love. Once upon a time there was a soap-making elephant. He made soap 'cause he loved soap, not because he had to pay the rent. But then one day all the rest of the world found out about the elephant soap. Then one day all the rest of the world found out about the elephant soap.
On to the next theme day, the 20th. It was Father's Day. The theme was to use something older than you. And the daily challenge was to tell a story about your father figure or your dad, whatever your case may be. There was no special theme or sponsor for the day. So we saw a lot of stories. Very funny, very entertaining. We'll link them in the show notes. We're not going to get to all of them here, but definitely check them out. One of the standouts for me, at least, was Mr. Lamper one. He told this wild story, a fish story, if you will. And it was probably crazy enough that I actually believe it. I don't know did anyone else see it
Oh
or
yeah,
read that? Yeah.
yeah. That's
Go
a
ahead and talk about
crazy
it.
story. The way it all linked together in the end. I don't even want to paraphrase it. Everybody just needs to go and listen or read his story. It is
Yeah.
a cool story.
That was my take. Is like everybody, the reading of these stories was, I mean, we couldn't do it justice. I mean, other than just sit here and read the post, and I think that's a waste of everyone's time. But yeah, definitely go read that one. We'll link it. Impressive Donut 114 also had a hilarious story where he got by his dad. He was up to some shenanigans with his friends and cousins or whatever, and thought that they got the law called on him. But it was just his dad getting the best of him. But definitely go check that out because I don't want to give any more spoilers. I am Zeneca, maybe how you say that. Also had
sure.
a hilarious story. Yeah, sure.
Sure. Yeah.
Sure. Definitely very funny story. Check that one out. And then Jeff, maybe want to discuss this next one, Malthus. He had a post that was pretty long and a little Malthusy. I didn't read it all, but I know you did.
On the Father's Day post, I read this today. So it's a good post. Malthus's father he's been dead for about a decade, but he was telling a story how little Malthus, he was pretending he was a ninja assassin. So he was, laying low and waiting for his dad. So he snuck up on his dad, jumped out, judo chopped his dad in the throat, like straight up. Yeah, just did a little some ninja shit, and like actually chopped his dad in the throat. His dad goes down to his knees, like like gasping for air, is out for a while. And Malta said, my dad was never one to spank us, but except that day, So apparently judo chopping his dad in the throat was enough to get a spanking. But
got him good.
It was a very Malthusy post. Malthus does he's thorough. I enjoy
if you're
his
not
post.
reading Malthus, he's got a great dry sense of humor. If you're into dry sense of humor, Malthus is your guy.
He's a funny guy.
Yes.
And then
I have been on him for years, like years and years. I told y'all about him years ago.
You did. You've been on that beat.
Check the logs.
Yeah,
check the logs. I think he's one of the best posters on the sub, and
Absolutely.
he's once again doing big things in Lather games. He did. I don't know what he finished last year. He was probably top 10 if I'm remembering correctly.
In the
12,
top,
maybe.
Definitely in the top 20. High teens.
No, his prize wasn't, for the record, but
well,
that fell apart on him. So
sure did.
Well,
those.
It was kind of I'm not gonna say it was a good thing that happened, but it allowed us to change the rules. Yeah, I mean, there's that because he was super cool about it, and he let us know, but he wasn't upset. What happened? He was just letting us know, but allowed us to change the rules where we only except for very few people. We only accept gift cards, and I think that's probably for the better, going forward.
It was a teaching
It's
moment. That was good.
and you know what it is from seeing. We're not going to talk about it. Well, we'll talk about the prizes a little later. But the people that did donate gift cards really spread it around. This last year we got a little. You could tell we got a little bit of, hey, this is unused, but it's dusty and been sitting around. Everybody spent money, with the right people this year.
Yeah.
So.
And nobody knows how to spend money better than you do. So, money is the prize this year. But anyway, moving on. So the last couple of posts, Warbix and Harry Coppite, they both posted some wholesome tales of their fathers. Not so much shitposty or funny, but impactful and wholesome. But we don't really do that here. So you'll just have to read them. Because they're definitely worth your time, but they're just not entertaining. But seriously, it was a cool day. That was one of the days too where like almost everybody did the daily challenge, and it was just really cool to learn a little bit more about our users, or if not more about them, at least about maybe like where they come from and their influences and stuff like that. So that was a cool theme. And moving on, June 21st was the summer solstice. So we honored that by doing a non-spooky summer solstice of a citrus summery vibe type of theme. And the daily challenge that day was to shave with your non-dominant hand. And Sterling was the spotlight on that. I think Rod did post a shave of the day. And Ben did too.
And he said he
which goes
tried the
without saying.
challenge.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Ben post. So the Soapers, I believe, are batting 1,000.
Yeah, Soapers are good at lather games. Who could have seen that? Razor makers, I think.
Razor makers, yeah, not so much.
Not so much. Brush makers too, maybe. Just can't use Reddit, I guess.
Brush makers are going like 500, maybe.
Yeah,
ish.
depends on.
Got posted, so
depends on their susness, I guess.
666 brush makers.
But anyway, okay. So the first shave we have this week to talk about is Chef Kool-Aid. He did a shave of the day. Well, I guess it wasn't a shave of the day video. It was a video that he posted in a shave of the day, sitting on his front porch, looking rather Smythe-like. But he did.
He's got a great mustache.
He does have a nice mustache. But anyway, he was sitting on his front porch, and he did a kind of a sea shanty, Gilligan's Island, I think, right? Was that the tune of it?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. About a song about PAA kind of ripping off Seaforth. Because he used sea spice lime or whatever it's called that day. But then he realized later in his altered state that it wasn't actually that soap. But either way, great video, hilarious. Check
and
it
also
out.
Chef Kool-Aid, he's doing a lot of songs too.
He is.
They are.
It's the stacking of 2021.
It is the stacking of 21. And then kind of a song in a way, our Chewbacca, another kind of
the sub of songs is Cameo. I don't know.
Deepest
Chewbacca,
guy
the
whose
talents
name he
of-
recognized.
Well, you get what you pay
how-
for on Cameo, you know.
That is exactly how you do Cameo.
Yep.
But yeah, so check that one out. Go ahead.
He did it. William Hung did it.
Yeah.
Did the shit out of it.
It was.
I mean, they say 10 seconds of fame, but like, it's been 10 years now, and he's still getting $30 a month or however often he gets that request.
Oh yeah, at most, right? I mean, that's not
right.
Not bad
I mean,
money.
those are good residuals, better than insurance, eh?
But word up, man.
And then lastly, is it Leela or Leah or
Leia?
Leia?
Like in
Princess
Star
Like
Wars.
Princess Leia, you know, Princess Leia.
She did a. I don't know
You
if
ain't
any
no
of you guys
nerd.
saw this one. I could have swore I was.
She even has a picture of Leia for her avatar on IRC.
I don't look at that shit. It's just
Yeah, Leia.
I read, man.
But that was kind of an impressive shave of the day. I mean, think about that. She shaved her right armpit with her right hand and her left armpit with her left hand. Think about that. Like that.
I get cramps
Yeah.
thinking about that. Actually,
Yeah,
my
if
wrist just seize up.
if you want to figure out how impressive that is, just
I'm
try
doing it right now. Don't think I'm not.
yeah, just it's impressive.
Yeah, I just felt something pop trying to do that. So good job, Leia.
Did anyone else have any other shaves on that day they wanted to talk about?
I mean, I don't have anything that I want to talk about except to say that there were way fewer disqualifications on Summer Day than I expected. I expected there was going to be all sorts of weird shit going on, but no, people read the
Good
instructions and
job,
followed them. It was
people.
great.
Way to go
Getting
of
better
not
at-
getting cute.
So we've been through what we did spring. Oh, this was the second season. So
Mhm.
Yeah, we've got
seems
another
like
one
people
coming
are
up
getting
yet.
better. Yeah, but we've got
Good
another
job,
one,
guys.
two more.
We'll get to that one. All right, so the next day on the calendar, the 22nd, we had collaboration day. 2 soaps or what labels or names on the whatever.
Yeah, it had
brands.
both brands on the label.
Yep. SpongeBob can clear that up, but it's I guess useless now because you used what you used. But anyway, the theme of that day was to say something nice about a user. That was cute and sweet. We'll get to some of those. And Sean again, but not Sean of Chatillon. Well, same Sean, but not Chatillon looks. But Mayor Olfactive was the sponsor, but he didn't show up anyway. I guess that version of Sean is way too good for us. He does not slum it with us.
So the centers are batting 50%.
Well, Sean, the
I think we can give
looks-
Sean credit because he certainly showed up on one of his 2 sponsor days.
He brought it.
Yeah,
So-
but clearly Mayor Olfactive is above our sub and our users.
above Lather Games.
And so that was fitting for him to not show up. But anyway, on that,
I think Sean would take offense to that. I think
he did comment on a couple of people that said nice things about him, but he didn't post.
Well, but then again,
he's got
he
that
can
damn
take that
beard.
offense. He can take that offense. I know he can. So
he can.
He's
a big boy. He's a
very big boy.
Big boy. And he'll dunk on you. He's like 6'4". He's a big guy.
Easily. So anyway, Major Mincemeat again making the podcast. His like nice thing tribute to another user was our Chewbacca, and not quite sure. I think last year maybe Chewbacca used like a beer soap or something like that. So anyway, Coors Light, and I think he shaved with Coors Light, not like with it. Chewbacca, that is, didn't shave like with it, but
So
like
he
maybe
used it
drank it
instead of water.
maybe
for
was
his
drinking
lather?
it. Major
Oh,
Mincemeat
drank it.
did that. So he opened up a tall boy, cracked that thing open, and put it right in his lather bowl on his soap sample and lathered that thing up. And I'm not sure how well alcohol on soap really lathers. But
there was a lot of that
the next day.
Yeah.
There's a couple of that the next day. Major Mincemeat, he's ahead of the curve on it. We'll just say that. But anyway, so check his shave out. Bourbon in Exile. If you didn't read that one, read it. Itchy, did you see that one?
I did.
I'm sure you did.
I sure did.
So he called out Baza, which I think most of you know, or Baza. I think most of you guys know. He is Dan's most, how would you say it, committed troll.
Absolutely.
He is very committed.
I mean, is he more than
seriously?
What's his face? Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you're right.
If he's as committed to his job as he is to trolling APR, he's a multimillionaire, because that is some serious daily, hourly commitment to just hating Dan. It's it's a sight to behold.
Look at it now, Jeff. So
I'm looking at
so Bourbon being the mod that he is.
A list of all the alts. This is awesome.
He basically went to the band list and looked at not every band. I mean, he did have to look at every band user, but looked at all the band users and like Baza alt, and just listed all them all out. And thanked Baza for making his job entertaining, because without banning Baza, he would have practically nothing to do.
My favorite one here is Stephen J.K.
Yeah, that was a good one. Even JK. But I know he's a big fan of yours, Pooter. And
Oh yeah.
We
he's
got Itchy
spoofed your
Poofer,
name.
Itchy Pooler,
All kinds of
Itchy
itchies.
Puller,
Yep,
Itsy
and he does it in
Pooler,
IRC too.
Frilly Pooter.
Basically, he's broken the terms of service of every platform he's ever used. But it just shows you how worthless those are.
4, 5, 6.
I feel like ever since Dan kind of disappeared, I feel like he's got this hole in his heart he's trying to fill, and I just, for fuck's sake, I hope it's not me who's gonna be the target of that.
39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 40, 45 accounts.
Yeah, I really.
He's
that's
on
a slice
Sean.
of it.
Yeah, he's on
really
Sean.
is.
That's the ones that Bourbons has realized, right? I'm sure there's more.
Exactly.
No,
And
he's been chasing.
I don't
Sean
know
around.
his marital status or his life really at all, but he really needs an ex-wife. Like in the worst way, or we need him to have one.
He a really good way to find his ults is just wait for Sean to post the CSF, and he's right on Sean.
I've never seen anybody follow things they hate so much. More than
just
Baza.
tormenting. Dan's gone, and he's just tormenting Sean for fun now.
Yeah, it's almost like Dan wasn't the problem.
He literally shows up to ask if Dan is back yet, so that he can troll him more. You know,
he's committed. He needs to be committed, but he is committed. To
Baza, if you're listening,
to that troll.
We'll take you on this program anytime you want for a few minutes.
Jeff, he is 100% listening to this every single minute of this. 100%. Hey, Baza, how's it going, bro?
Craig. What's up, Craig? Baza?
Like, there's absolutely no doubt about it. He's listened to every single minute of every single podcast that we've ever done. It was funny. Last week, I got a notification that I got a new follower on Reddit. It was fucking Baza. Like he loves me, and that I guess that's fine.
Loves to hate. All right, so moving on, the 23rd. This is the day we've all been waiting for. Pretty much every year. It's the
IRC was waiting for it.
Yeah, I don't know what more you could say. It's Wild Card Wednesday.
It's the day people plan for.
It is the one day that you think, oh, how wild am I going to get? Yeah, it's the one you plan for months and months in advance. So the theme of the daily challenge was Spotlight on Manodyne, who is one of, if not the most generous people in our subreddit,
sure.
in our hobby. So it was just to kind of shout him out and also just highlight the generosity that you've seen in your life. Or tell a story or a tale of generosity. And then your friendly Pyro of Try That Soap, he was the spotlight for the sponsor of the day. And he did actually post.
Like a slacker.
Yeah, somehow posted though.
He's been raising a fortune, but he's been posting like shit. He's got better stuff than he's been bringing.
Maybe he's busy raising all that money and
we'll give him a
counting
pass
stacks
raising all that money
for charity. Yeah. So anyway, we have quite a few, and I think this is where we're going to spend the lion's share of our time this week. So a lot of weird lathers. Probably get to those later. Yeah,
as is tradition. I mean, I feel like non-traditional lathers is what Wildcard Wednesday is all about historically.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So my least favorite
of Wildcard Wednesday.
Yeah, the spirit. Speaking of the spirit, my least favorite thing of this Wildcard Wednesday, because we altered the rules.
Yeah,
let's kind of.
I know where you're going. Let's go here.
So, we altered the rules a little bit so that people didn't get screwed, i.e., sabotaged. Where you name your shave of the day, and then someone just comes at you and like, "Oh, I'm going to use what they used," and just screw them.
Because I didn't. I mean, and let's be. The reason it came on our radar last year was because Wise One used this very, I guess, rare or old,
kind of rare, but either way,
Oleo soap. From years ago.
That darn Rob coffee.
And then somebody came in later and didn't search, and he got
freaking
screwed.
Yeah, and so Wise One paid the penalty for some guy not doing his homework.
Right.
So we're like, we don't want that to happen to anybody.
Yeah, that wasn't fair.
So what happened? But of course, people gamed the system. So they just posted, "Oh, I'm going to shave with this," and wrote it out at like 9 a.m. and then waited for their high effort shit post or whatever till later that night. Not cool, guys.
No.
That's not the spirit of the games. But anyway,
Absolutely not.
I
That
digress.
was that was.
That was my least favorite thing.
I mean, right. You don't want to get burned in the 10 minutes when you're in the bathroom. I get it, but there's posting at 8 a.m. and then writing your whole post at 7 o'clock at night is have a better plan than that. Have it all written out or something better.
And if you didn't really use it, did you really use it yet? Maybe someone could beat you to it. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
So-
like you should have been screwed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was just there was a lot of shenanigans going
Not
on,
cool.
and
we
noticed.
learned a lesson. We learned a lesson, and we'll deal with it.
You maybe didn't get too penalized, but you probably got a little penalized.
Maybe, but maybe not.
Maybe
We'll
not.
see.
We'll see.
We'll know. But you won't be pulling that shit next year. So anyway, on to the posts that didn't suck. Specialist Quiet 333. The amount of spouses that have gotten involved in this stuff this year is off the charts. But Specialist
It's perturbing.
Yeah, Quiet 333. He grabbed some shit out of the kitchen, some coconut oil, some olive oil, barbecue grill brush, the silicone kind. Slathered himself up. Yeah,
there were a few barbecue brushes.
There were a few of those. Pooter, you have a count on that?
I counted no less than 3. There were 3 silicone barbecue brushes.
3, at least 3.
At least 3.
So anyway, Specialist Quiet 333. He got his household oils out, lathered himself up, and then had his wife shave him. I don't know why. Not on theme.
Yeah, I read that post and I was like, "Where is this going?" And it went nowhere. It was just a comment. I was like, okay.
Just for extra effort, y'all are like committed to this, and I respect it, and we do see it. So that's amazing. The broest moments. He shaved with farm raised fresh chicken eggs. Literally, not the pork LE soap.
I started reading that.
Yeah, so
I was reading it and I wasn't looking at the pictures.
No, so this one was good. More photojournalism. I'm not a shitposting judge.
You have to look at these pictures.
But I like this style. So he got in his car. He headed out to the country, I suppose. Out to a farm, a barn at least. Signs going this way for the fresh chicken eggs. Some chicken crossing signs. Don't run over the chickens on your way in. So he got some of the freshest chicken eggs he could find. Whipped them up real good in the KitchenAid or whatever, hand beater. I'm not sure what he used. Whipped them up and tried to shave with them. And I know from experience that egg whites make a crappy lather, even if they did do it back in the dark ages. So that was a good post. Go check it out.
Great.
Chef Kool-Aid, yet again. One of my, so many of my favorite. How many favorites can you have in lather games? At least 20, right?
At least 100.
At least 100, yeah. So they're still my favorites. It doesn't matter. But Chef Kool-Aid, he had a great shave of the day. He used silly string, but his write-up, the way he wrote it out, hilarious. Definitely worth checking out. Read his words.
I don't think that's skin safe.
No,
fairly confident it's not.
It says it's not.
It says it's not, and he's like, "Well, fuck that." I'm putting this on my skin because it's my lather today.
It gets hard.
That's what she said.
There's your sound bit for the opening, Steven.
Yeah. Why would you? My question as I read that was, why would you think this would be a good idea?
I'm not sure that he was really thinking, which is great because it made it better for all of us. But
our benefit, right?
Yeah. So basically, it's resin, right? So it's just some sort of resin that's rolling around in all kinds of chemicals or emulsifiers to keep it whatever liquidy in the can. So he sprayed it on himself, and then it just hardened and melted his face, and he was in all kinds of trouble. But he did manage to get a smooth shave, and he's not sure how. But it was probably the just the melting of his whiskers and the cancer that he was getting. So high effort, great. Another not sure safe for skin contact. BV is a Pike. He shaved with Frank's Red Hot. And he did it on video. So you actually got to see it.
Great video.
That just sounded like I started reading and I was like, that's gotta fucking hurt.
Oh, I can't
he
imagine.
said it wasn't so bad, but it just, I don't believe
His
him.
face was numb. There's no way.
His
No,
face is leather.
He had a bad time. He's been doing a lot of self-abuse in his Lather games. He also did the 15 aftershaves.
Yeah.
And what's
right.
scary to me, I don't know, he's probably, I don't know, if he hasn't talked about this, Stephen Cutt, I mean, he's a healthcare professional.
Yeah, well, you don't always have to follow your own advice, I guess you could say.
My pediatrician used to smoke, so I guess
Yeah,
not.
exactly. My high school health teachers would go outside and smoke. It's like, what the hell? But it is what it is. Anyway, moving on. So that one's great. Check it out. Jobu's rum. He shaved with some hops number 9, which is one of the ingredients or scent notes in Midnight Stag. It's gun oil, gun lube, all that manly scented stuff. So he did that.
And he is not the first user to shave with gun oil.
I don't know if he was the first or not the first. He was the first I
think-
saw, but Numbers also did.
was first.
Numbers was first.
But-
Okay, different
But,
products.
but apparently brand names matter, right? So if they
Brand-
both
well,
use
always.
hop number
The favorite.
9, you know.
The
Well,
ruling was, I mean, brand names matter for soap, right?
I mean, what if one person used
Mhm.
Bam Seville and the other used, Lavanil?
Yeah.
Like, you're going to
Well,
DQ
yeah,
Yeah,
them
that's
both.
no, I
fine.
mean, I get it completely. But yeah, he wasn't
Or-
the first. He was one of at least 2.
Yeah. Or like
use,
90% of people
gun
use
oil.
shave soap, so you'd have to DQ all of them, which
Right.
we're not doing. So anyway, so a couple gun lube, gun oil shaves, Jobu's rum and Numbers. Check them out. You are breaking things. This one was interesting.
This
shaved
was
out on-
my this was he shaved with he made his own baby food and wore a bib and a hat. This was my favorite without question. It was one of the first ones I read, and it was definitely my favorite because this just the way he wrote it just encompassed Wildcard Wednesday. He was like, I
Yes.
need to use something weird. What am I going to use? And he opened the fridge
Yeah.
and
And he didn't open some
just the
Gerber or
whole
anything.
thing.
He's like, boom, banana
he
or
made
not
it.
bananas, apples,
this-
carrots,
Apples and carrots.
blenders. Let's
you
go.
know, he's always good with his drawings and some of the other videos he's done, but this was one of the best posts I've read all month.
And he
And
made
also-
a video of
Without
it, which
question.
was great. Go ahead.
Say this was also a callback to his Wildcard Wednesday shave of last year, if you'll recall that one, where he used butt paste.
Oh, was he
because
the
again,
one?
Yep.
Yeah, he
Yep.
was the one because he's got a
Okay.
kid, and his kid last year was an infant, and now his kid is now
Yeah.
a toddler.
I
So
remember
they've
talking
graduated
about
from
that butt
butt paste, and now they're eating
Whole
mush.
Foods.
So
It's
he's
just a
graduated from butt
wholesome-
paste to mush.
It was
Great,
wholesome.
just a great post.
But anyway, so he shaved out on his deck. He had a video of it. Shaved out on his deck, had a bib on and a little baby bucket hat. And one of the funny things, I guess, that caught me, my funny bone was he had like this little 8x11, like a paper on his like banister railing there that had like a live button on it.
he's been
For, like,
he's
a
been
live
doing
feed.
that. He had
That-
that on the one where he did with the
Oh, did he?
hose. He had it
I
on the
missed that
window.
one.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
just like it's just like this tiny little stupid thing that just like cracks me up.
Stupid. I asked him
It's
about
so
that. I'm like,
stupid.
did you do that last year? He was like, no, that's a
It's
this
so
year
low
thing.
effort, but like so high, like it just
Yeah, it's
high
just
effect.
hilarious.
It's great. Anyway, so another one, infernal. He shaved his leg with something. I don't know if any of
This-
you guys are experts on this.
I didn't even know what this was or why
I didn't either.
It was
this
a-
was
an
a
expert.
thing.
I
I don't
think
know
the-
anything about it.
The package
Do y'all
said
not know
like
what a glycerin suppository is? Do y'all
no,
not know what that is?
no.
I don't-
Oh, okay.
Wha-
So
I know what prunes
There's-
are, And
Yeah,
I
a
know what
glycerin
preparation
suppository
H is.
is shaped sort of like a torpedo, I guess.
It
It's
was
got a
cone.
taper
It was
on one
cone
end.
shaped. It looked like
Yeah.
like an incense cone almost. Like I don't know, but anyway, it was cone
Yeah,
shaped.
it's got a strategic shape for a very particular reason. But surprisingly, it wasn't a bad shave. I guess it makes sense. I don't
Glycerin's
know if
good,
yeah,
but like
I mean, isn't that
Glycerin's,
what's in
you
soap
want
too?
that in your post shave.
so he melted it down.
And if you also want it in your butt sometimes if you need to poo. So I guess it
But
works.
so these things, maybe butt bullets they might be called. But do you just like shove them up there and let like
Yeah. Oh yeah.
your
It's right
your
right up
warmth,
in your butt.
and then
Mhm.
like
So it
It
helps
melts
your
you
body
go
heat
to the
melts it?
bathroom. Is that the purpose of it? Like, I don't know what the
Oh, it
purpose
lubes
is.
you up
Seriously,
real good, I'd
are you
imagine.
people not? Are you people like
No, we
are in your
really
late
don't
30s,
know.
early 40s? Like you don't know what a glycerin
Yeah.
suppository is? Yeah, you
No
stick it
idea.
in your butt and it melts because your body's
Melts in your butt,
98.6
not in your hand.
ish. Yeah, and it melts and it helps you poo. I mean, you
I
don't just
feel
do
like
it for funsies. You're doing it because you're constipated.
Well,
I feel like right now is where I would like Steven's opinion
yeah,
or
I definitely
thoughts.
want Steven's opinion and thoughts on this. But like, how does real talk? Like, how does it do
Mhm.
anything other than grease the rails? Like, couldn't you just like?
That's exactly what it does. That's exactly what it
But
does.
but aren't the problems
Are the problems
like
what?
the
Further up.
problems of like the constipation, right? Is like more internal. Like you can't poop. It's not because well, I guess my rails are a little bit rough this
Right.
week.
Look, I'm not
Like
a
just
butt doctor
stick your
at
finger in
all.
some lube and shove it up there and you're good to go.
Wait, hang on.
But,
We've got some informed opinions coming.
can't wait to read these
Oh,
takes. But
okay, so our Frank's Red Hot shaving expert says that it stimulates your colon and encourages things to continue on their path. I mean, so would butt sex, right? So just maybe do that for constipation?
no, that's not medical advice.
Is it though? I mean, you're gonna get. Does lube have glycerin in it? I didn't read
Oh,
the like
we got two medical professionals now.
because I know we had some lube shaves that we haven't shouted out yet, but they'll probably be in the show notes if we don't talk about them. But like, would that stuff going up there stimulate it?
It's hard to know. It's hard to say.
It's
don't
hard
know.
to imagine that like sticking this tiny little. I mean, it's small, right? Like it's smaller than like your pinky. Sticking this little thing up there and letting it melt. How does it do anything other than lube it up? And I don't think lube's the problem. It's like eat prunes because it's the whole digestive thing, right? Like eat some roughage, some fiber. Fiber is not, glycerin on your anus.
Mm-hmm. This is going on for a long time.
We really need our expert here.
Well, I feel like this is something that could probably just be Googled later, and then
Or
I'm not Googling it. Are you?
Well, no,
Gerard's
you just
got it. Wait, Gerard's got
you
some advice.
clear your
some
search
expertise.
history afterward, and
Somebody read. Go ahead, Jeff. You want to read this?
We've got another medical expert
Go ahead, Jeff.
advising us if an enema is a bucket of water to wake you up, a glycerin suppository is like shaking you in bed.
So gentle.
And glycerin, I guess, attracts water. I thought it just held water. I guess it's like a magnet, like
So it helps
styrene
with the bowel
calling for the
movement.
water, saying, "Hey, water, come get
know.
me. Come this way. Exits this way." So I guess a glycerin is basically a glowing exit sign
These are
to tell everything
things
where to go.
Non-coffee drinkers probably
I'm
deal
calling
with.
bullshit on
I
all
don't know.
this. I really am. I think it's
Dude,
more.
like glycerin suppository. This isn't like new technology. Like your grandparents were sticking glycerin suppositories in their butt. Like this is old technology. This is telegraph. This is Morse code. This is old stuff, man.
I just thought like fiber was
glycerin
how you.
suppositories have been around. They've been on the block. They're field tested,
How do
man.
you know they weren't?
Lots of miles.
How do you know they weren't using them as lube when lube was a little bit more? I don't know, taboo, that sort of stuff. It goes on. We talk about it all the time, right? Like that stuff went on. It has gone on. Just
You know
they
what's
didn't
funny?
talk about it like they might today.
Speaking of lube, we actually have a doctor of lubrication, legit PhD of lubrication.
Dr. Lube, chime
Like
in,
no
please.
shit.
Are you
100%.
talking about Joe Beanie?
Damn it, Jeff. My mouth was full.
Him also. He's more of a master's level. I'm talking about an actual PhD, Dr. Roeder. Yeah, but like Dr. Roeder, he legit has a PhD in like, the science of lubrications, essentially. Correct me if I'm wrong here, Doc. I see you're in Discord, but isn't that right? Like your PhD is actually in,
I believe
the science of
that's
lubrication?
And he said
Yeah.
yes.
he says yes. Well, I got lube. Can you lube me? I mean, what?
I don't even know what that word means.
Yeah, I don't
That
know
he
how to
just
say.
typed.
Tribology? Is that the correct
I
pronunciation?
think that's
Study
Zing. I think it
tribology?
might be tribology.
Oh, John.
Oh, John
Gee,
Jill is a lube doctor too.
No
Damn.
shit. Like, what in the world?
There is no fucking way we've got two. There's no fucking way.
Explains
Oh
so
my
much.
God.
There is way.
Theoretical tribology.
This is.
I'm telling you, there's like no more credentialed group than
I
like the
will-
wet shavers of
I
our wet
was just
shaving.
going to say,
It's
I will
amazing.
once again say we've got the best group of experts
So,
on apparently
if you were
fucking
to put-
everything.
If you were to put lube on this is how it would work. Is that what theoretical tribology is? What the hell?
Theoretical
Oh, damn.
tribology.
We still don't have a goddamn electrician.
We really don't.
One thing we need: how to not burn down our houses.
I thought we had an electrical engineer in the house, didn't we?
Yeah, but that's not an
Do we not?
electrician.
Well,
No, very different.
Close enough, no?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
more theory than
Well, we got this theory. So you discounting Junjila's like advice here? Theoretical matters.
Oh
Oh, man.
God,
We're stuck.
I think you
Where
can
the
take that to the bank.
fuck were we?
We were on
We
the
were just-
next day, weren't we?
Yeah, we were just finishing up Wildcard Wednesday.
So yeah, so there were all these
Yeah, we got
are
way
gonna
off
be in the
the
show
rails.
notes.
Way
Of
off.
course, all butt stuff will do it to you. So
Really will.
yep, it'll get you. Anyway, so moving on. Wildcard Wednesday. Make sure you look at all those shaves. That's really not really what all the games are about, because it really is about just like the competition of trying all these soaps and all
It's
these themes.
become a bit. There's
But
the
it's a highlight
excellence in
event.
shitposting, and there's Wildcard Wednesday.
Yeah,
There's
it's a big part of it.
I'd say if Lather Games is like football season, then Wildcard Wednesday is your Super Bowl.
All-Star game.
Maybe your
All-Star
draft,
game.
All-Star game, draft,
All-Star
something
game?
like that. It's a big deal. But anyway, so moving on. Is it Grue? Is the next day the 24th? The Grue Desert Island Day. What would you use if you could use like one thing ever, or I guess if you were stranded on a desert island, what would you take with you?
If there was one thing you had to use for an extended period of time, or one setup, I guess, what would that be?
Right, and the daily challenge was the regrettable purchase. So I guess what would you not take with you in life that you got once? And then the sponsor for the day was Tatara Razor. Jeff, did they post that day?
They did not. Another razor maker
Razor
doesn't
makers.
shave,
Yeah,
I guess. A razor maker is batting
Zero.
Zero. Yeah.
100% zero on the Razor maker. But anyway,
Unbelievable.
so
So I'm going to give you my favorite post, or
go ahead,
I think
Jeff.
it was my favorite post that day.
I think it was
the one. It had me cracking up. It was Malthus again, and he just wrote up his desert island, Gilligan's Island, and it was like his frag was which I don't even know what it was, exotic, and that was ginger. His razor was his Blackbird. I think it was a TI Blackbird, was precise and scientific. The Professor, the Thader brush, was old school and arrogant like Mr. Howell. And then Summer Break was his soap was Gilligan, and that just comparing Gilligan or Rocket to Gilligan just cracked me the hell up. I don't know why, it just cracked me the hell up.
So how do you know Gilligan's Island so well and not a thing about glycerin suppositories?
Good question, Whiskey.
don't understand
'Cause
what
I
one
don't
thing
know
has to do with the other. Oh,
shit
you're
about either.
saying I'm old and I watched Gilligan's. I didn't watch Gilligan's Island when it was on. It was in reruns.
Yeah, it was in. It
Right?
was
Yeah,
like 64 to
reruns.
68. Yeah, it was like mid
It's
to late
Reruns
probably
that I
60s.
didn't
still
watch.
fucking on somewhere.
It
Gilligan's
was
Island is
definitely on.
hilarious.
It was definitely on Nick at Night for sure when
Yeah.
Oh,
when
for
we were
sure.
kids.
I think it was on. I mean, in
Those are like
the
black and
New
white
York
shows for
area, it
boomers,
was
though,
on.
dude.
It
I didn't
wasn't
watch
black
on
and
T-
white. It was color.
I Love
It
Lucy.
no.
No,
It started out black and
Gilligan's
white.
Island.
I
Oh, did it?
it absolutely
And
did.
I Dream of Jeannie and all those. I did actually
I
watch a
go
little
ahead
bit
and
of those
fact
shows.
check that. I feel confident in
I
saying
think
that
you're right. I
the
think
first
until
season
you
or
say it,
two
or
was
I
black
think,
and white.
yeah. But
So
yeah, it
anyway,
was
so
on.
Malthus,
We watched it on, WPIX or whatever that. What the hell was the channel that the Braves were on? TBS.
we called it Nick
on
at
something.
Night, but I
TBS.
don't know.
Yeah. It
Oh,
was
so you
on
did
something
watch
like
it before
it was on
syndication?
something. Yeah, I mean, look, I didn't have Nick at Night in high school, or maybe I did have Nick at Night in high school, but whenever I watched, it was on like after school. I remember watching it.
Live.
Not fucking lying. Stop.
All right.
Malthus maybe watched it live. I don't know
He
how much.
probably
I don't know
did,
how
but
old Malthus is. I don't think
I
he's that
don't know
much
either.
older than I am.
His soul is. But
Yeah, well, he is an
Yeah,
old
he's
soul.
he's an old soul for sure.
either way, moving on. Pork. He took the themes I kind of talked about. He took it a little bit more literally. And his shave of the day gear. He made a video about it. It was basically all dual purpose. So his shavette that he brought could double as a fishing spear, and as a fillet knife for the caught fish. And then he used a boar brush. He hates boar brushes. He's more of that soft pillowy batch, like B2 and such. But anyway, so the boar brush for descaling the fish, wiping them right off. And then what else did he have? Williams mug soap was a soap of choice because they're small and you can fit several of them, where one puck would of artisan stuff would be much larger. But also that citronella scent in it. He's thinking that you could kind of lather that up and get the the skeeter repellent on.
I don't get that citronella scent.
I was thinking Arco more. I haven't actually
I
smelled
don't.
Williams.
No. I don't. I mean, it's in Williams, and I smell it. I
You
just don't get that people like it.
Well, I don't know that he
Oh.
likes it. He's saying
Oh, okay.
it would work.
Alright.
It'd be handy.
It'd be very
It'd
handy
be
on a desert
useful.
island. Yeah. And then he had a Bourbon Bay rum for his aftershave that he was thinking, if ever you just are losing your mind and everything, you just take a nip of that, need a drink, knock yourself out, black out with some Bourbon Bay rum, but also the spices and all that in it could work as a nice marinade for your river trout or whatever you caught. Then lastly, his frag he chose zoologist rhinoceros, basically to impersonate the alpha animal on the island so that no one would fuck with him. That he would just, he would loom large. So the skeeters, they're taken care of, the animals. He's not going to be prey to them, and all that. So then he also kind of had a other segment at the end of his video, kind of talked a little bit about basements, how basements are not murder dungeons, and probably not sex dungeons either, but that they're nice places that you would not want to mess up, and that we should all come out and join him in his basement for a drink.
I
It
think
was a very
we
nice
would have a
basement. There
we
didn't
would
look
have a
murdery at
blast.
all.
Had a couple drum sets. I'd put my nutsack on him. And
Yeah.
he said if he were to murder us, he'd probably take us into the woods and the wilderness trails, but that he wouldn't do it there either.
You
'cause
wouldn't
it's
do it
just-
in his basement.
No, he wouldn't do it in the basement because it's so nice, but also he wouldn't murder us in the trails because he's not a murderer. Which I don't know if I trust that, but
I
that's
don't
what he
trust
said.
Pork. No.
No, I'm
But
not
Jeff,
going. I don't
he
trust Pork.
specifically invited you, Jeff. So
Let's do it.
just so you
Go
know.
ahead. And he thinks you're
He
an Irish distance, so
I
he
think
he also
I
invited
might
me, but
know
he
where
feels like
he
I live too
lives.
far away from him.
Yeah, I think I might know where he lives. I might remember. He's not too far.
I think Connecticut, I believe,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Pay him a visit. You're probably BFFs, right? I mean, someone probably thinks that.
I'll pick up Walden on the way, and he'll be my bodyguard.
Yeah, do that. So speaking of Walden, uh, he took
look at
the
that. Didn't even
yeah. How
plan
about that segue? So he he found somehow he used the theme a little literally as well, but he found a Nautica branded razor at like a TJ Maxx. I don't know how or why. I didn't even
I
know
mean,
that
look,
Nautica.
how or why? I mean, you
Like
see
I didn't know they
shaving gear.
branded razors.
You
Why?
see shaving gear at TJ Maxx. You go browse because you need your wicked edge points.
Sure, of course. Fair
Right?
game. But Nautica, what the hell are you doing branding razors? Like the polos and all that, I get the cologne, whatever, but like I guess they're into grooming with the clone. So razors, anyway, he found like this like Weishi Bally sort of clone turned to open razor. Uh and he used it. It was horrible. It wasn't worth the $5 that he spent. Imagine that. Don't care what a deal you got on it. Maybe don't buy your shave wares at TJ Maxx. But anyway, he had a good write up, worth checking out. It's in the links. So check that out. Any others, guys, for that day? Desert Island.
It was interesting to see some people explaining why they chose the soaps they did, because some people fall in love with soaps that are very unpopular in the community and are maybe from companies that have poor practices and this and that. But at the end of the day, if the soap is good, you can still love it while also feeling bad that you spent money at a business. I mean, I posted one of those. I saw a few others, and it was always really interesting to see, why they're still willing to use it and what they think of it, despite whatever problems it may have.
Yeah, I'm not there, but I guess
Oh, we did
whatever.
have another cameo. Oh no, that was the next day.
That was the
Steve,
next
about
day.
that.
So let's get into the
Remind me.
next day. But anyway, yeah. So Desert Island, another thing, kind of Bob, what you just said, but like some people were like, I'm not going to use my favorite scent because I actually would get tired of like my favorite scent. It would,
Right.
it's only on special occasions. Like I love it because I use it rarely. Whereas other people are like, I'm going to use something that I can use every single day and not get
Yes.
tired of it.
That was my thought. It's like, if
Use
it's
unscented.
something that you like, it like one of your favorite things might be just something like really rich.
Right,
You
exactly.
might not want to use that
Yeah.
for more than 2 weeks straight.
Exactly. You'll get tired of
Mhm.
it. So anyway, so the next day, the 25th, Christmas in July, but in June, and kind of riffing on the Christmas theme, the daily challenge was to talk about the worst gift you've ever received. And the sponsor of the day was Holy Cow, and he did post.
Mhm.
And he
So
posted
soap
like
makers.
it just was, I think it was a cream, and he just posted a scent like fur and I don't know, a couple other things. So I guess it was something he's playing with or working on. Maybe he's got a Christmas release coming up. I
Or
don't know.
maybe
I
he's
guess we'll find out.
Using that
maybe
spotlight for advertising. I love it.
Right?
maybe he just put it together for the day. You never know.
Maybe. I know. I know Sri is always testing and tinkering, so you never know with him.
Yep. So so some of these, Jeff, you were talking about the cameo. So we did have another cameo
Yep.
appearance on this day, Mr. One More Time. He
This
got
was
yeah,
probably the cheapest one we've seen. I
probably
hope.
the cheapest one. So he's somehow got a cameo Santa to do a video. Did you guys see this one? Did you? If
I
not, like,
did.
so this one,
This
like,
was better than William Hung. So
this
I
is
mean, if
better
you
than
have to
William Hung
spend $7 or $8, then
and
this
like
is a better.
better value for money. So we had like William Hung. It was obvious that like, oh, you want to do this? Yeah, he shaved, and then I'm gonna just do the regular song, and then he shaved.
Yep,
But
one
I'm not
trick
putting too
pony.
much. Yeah, and Gilbert, he ripped us a new one and made us all feel real bad about ourselves. But you obviously, like, these guys aren't following scripts. You can't tell them what to do. Just here, talk about lather games. Well, Santa, man, he put in an incredible amount of effort. He is just so, he's so generous. He must just like give gifts for a living or something. But he blessed us with this long, enthusiastic cameo. Encouraging us really to finish strong and how hard this competition must be on us. And then also, I don't know if this was like part of the $8 that One More Time gave or not, but he gave us some shaving tips, and also some beard grooming tips. If you were to have a beard, you know how to not get split ends and all that. So anyway, that video is funny. I just cracked up about, I don't know, just like the idea of Santa doing cameo videos in June, and the only content and requests he's getting is about shaving competitions. And I think the
Yeah,
enthusiasm
I would have to
must have
think
been
this is
genuine.
definitely
That
his
guy's-
off season, right?
That guy's phone
It's like,
dinged, and he was like, "Oh, okay, somebody's
He couldn't
playing
be
in
happier.
advance." And he's like, "What the fuck is this?"
I mean, he's racing in the closet to get that red suit on.
But I mean, as long as that
He was a
beard
good-looking
takes,
Santa, though.
yeah,
He was a
as long as
good-looking
that
Santa.
beard takes to grow, it's not like he just cuts it. Like there is no off season for him. It's just not getting paid season. So anyway, that was amazing.
Yeah, I
So
feel that. I got seasons like that too, Santa.
word. Me too. So anyway, so that was awesome. Check that one out. Maricus, he did another jingle for us. It was a parody, which are still great. Not an original song, but we love our parodies too. He did it to the tune of Last Christmas. And it was about ruined piffs. They fall into the hands of flippers and other unsavory characters who might sell their piffs on eBay. So don't go reselling piffs. Oh, that's another free parody song. Don't maybe the Waterfalls by TLC. Don't go selling piffs. Whatever. I don't know how. You be the creative minds behind that. But the other thing on the Christmas day, there were a lot of good bad gift stories. We'll link many of them. But again, it's one of those things where like we just can't. We're not going to sit here and read posts. And we can't possibly retell these in a way better than how the posters did it. So credit to them. Go check their own, posts out and read them because they're good. All kinds of shattered dreams and just horrible, horrible gifts.
Oh yeah, yeah, some brutal gifts. Like after reading through some of these, I mean, the one I posted, I got a scented candle and a jar of salt, and I still think I came out ahead compared to some of these other people.
Oh yeah, one person, their sister. I'm sorry, I don't have your username written down, but their sister had gone to the beach, brought him back a styrofoam cup of sand and beach water.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
So
someone else got another user. I should have wrote them down. I'm sorry. But they wrote down like them and their two older brothers or cousins, whatever, got like musical instruments, and it was kind of like multiplicity with the instruments. They got worse and worse as they got younger in age. But like one person got, I'll just say a drum set. Maybe they didn't get a drum set. It was probably not. But like a guitar, and then the next person got like, some other nice instrument, a keyboard or whatever, and then like he got a kazoo. But no, it was actually it was a harmonica. But it's just like, man, I can't even. This sucks. And then someone else got like a plastic Walmart guitar that's not like a real guitar. And then like the enthusiastic aunt that gave him the gift broke it right in front of him before he even got to play it, trying to teach him how to tune the strings and stuff and snap the neck clear off. But anyway, great stories. Definitely read them. They'll all be linked. So moving on. Itchy Pooter, do you have any shit posts that we didn't cover here that you want to get into? Kind of shout out some of your shit listers.
Yeah, there's a few I want to talk about. If y'all are not following Jim Tasticness's stories from the medical field, would highly encourage you. This is his third year that he's been just chronicling all these outrageous, disgusting things that happened to him. But last year, if y'all will remember, he told a story about one of his patients in a nursing home named Frank. And so
Frank returns, baby.
If you
we
remember
all remember Frank.
So the original story was, Jim is checking up on his patient Frank. The door's cracked a little bit there at the nursing home. So he goes in, and Frank, who's in his 80s, he's he's hitting it doggy style on another 80-year-old woman, and he was waiting for the third participant of this sexual liaison to enter, and he thought it was Jim. So old nasty Frank, he was having threesomes at the nursing home, but so Jim he tells another Frank story. So
Sure
as
does.
it turns out, Frank likes to bone, and I'm not gonna hate on Frank for that. Good for him. But as it turns out, it burned him. It all this it burned him, literally burned him. So Frank, he called Jim in. He's like, man, I got a problem, and he was having a discharge. He wasn't discharged from the nursing home. He had
You don't leave those.
No, he had a drip, and so as it turns out, all of Frank's little trysts, he actually got gonorrhea. So Frank is back, and Frank got the clap. So check out that post. That one left me in stitches.
That was the return of Frank, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, the return of Frank.
That was
Frank Part 2.
And then the threesome must have
And
been
then,
after. Although
I'm not sure the timeline. I don't know.
Yeah, the timeline, the
is.
threesome probably came before the clap, but as Jim told it, the return of Frank was the whole.
And then we need to talk about our Chewbacca. Did y'all see his? I think it was his wild. Yeah, it was his Wild Card Wednesday shave. Did y'all see that? So he went to the club with his homies. They went to the club, like not like a bar. They went to the club, and so he
like Peter's
stole. No, like the like the club, like the disco club.
Club Yanka?
Yeah, like
Sure.
Club Yanka. And so he low key acquired all the liquor drippings from the liquor mat. When they make you a drink, they you know what I'm saying? The little rubber mat where they put the shot glasses and stuff to make drinks. So he actually got that. He acquired the drippings from the liquor mat, and that was the base of his non-traditional lather. And he did the thing where he I think used olive oil and coconut oil, and he mixed it with his bar mat winnings. So check that out. That was good. He's doing a good job once again. Let me see what else I got. I made a couple notes here. Give me 1 second. Hold, please. Oh, Chronosaur 420. I don't know if y'all saw this, but I know Bob will be happy to know that he properly used the not safe for work tag, but he recorded what I believe to be the second FUPA shave of the Lather Games history. Number 2 FUPA shave. But on the shit list I was talking about that, it's not really a FUPA because he's like, more of a skinny upper penis area. So whatever you call that, I guess just Mons pubis, I suppose. But he went for it, and he gave us some visual proof. So shout out to Chronosaur 420 for really going the extra mile. You didn't have to do it for us, but I see you, boo. I see you. See what else we got. Oh, speaking of things that are making a comeback, the last year, Adore You shaved. If y'all remember this shave, she shaved with expired Bad Dragon cum lube, where it's lube that the fine people at Bad Dragon they fashion to look like semen because, sure, I mean, why wouldn't you want that? Yeah. So not only was there another Frank story, there was another expired Bad Dragon cum lube shave.
How's all this stuff expiring? That's what I'd kind of like to know.
Because he said his book. I remember the post. His post was actually really good. He said he bought it back in college, thinking he was going to need it, and didn't need it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, this is also what's funny. So So the Bad Dragon Cum Lube was from I Am Xenoka. He talked about him already on the podcast today. But what's odd about this, he wasn't even the only sex lube shaver of the day.
No, he was not.
So,
am I confusing two?
yes, I believe Jeff, you were referencing Choco Taco Kid, who he acquired some Trojan lube in college when he was 18, back in, I think he said 2010. But as it turns out, 18-year-old girls in college who he's messing with, they don't necessarily need
well, and also
lube
these
all
guys,
that often,
they're
I
probably
guess.
not wet shaving back then, so that's why they're not getting all that pussy, right?
Oh, I thought that's why they didn't use it, because they weren't shaving with it back then.
Oh, no, it's not. It wasn't a shave product. It's just, Now, of course, we're dripping in it, but back then, before our
Dripping
wet
in
shaving,
expired lube.
Yeah, from when we weren't using it, but now we use it.
Sure. Sex all the time. I think we've covered most of this stuff. There was a couple other non-traditional shaves. I'm a sucker for that stuff. If y'all have been a follower of the Excellence in Shitposting Award and the Excellence in Shitposting Award finalist of years past, then on that finalist list, there's always just a grip of non-traditional lathers. I love that stuff. Major Mincemeat shaved with a lot of fake blood. Did y'all cop that one?
That was, I didn't watch that video yet, but I did see either a screenshot or a picture he uploaded, and it was something else.
And also shout out to Major Mincemeat. He has the largest collection of just nerdy ass t-shirts I've ever seen. Have y'all noticed
I've
that?
Noticed. I've absolutely noticed.
It's incredible. Like he goes real deep into nerd culture with his t-shirt collection. So good job, Major Mincemeat. We see ya.
Speaking of good jobs, I mean, is there a better shaver that we've seen in video?
Yeah, I mean, he's like a savant, right? He is
awesome.
He slides
I think
that
maestro is the preferred
straight.
term, but
Maestro,
yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
For not the strokes that he can make, I could never make with the straight razor. I think if I practiced 20 years, I would never get there.
And then we had yellow _blueberry made
great poster.
Great poster. Yeah, don't recognize the name, but I've seen his post and I'm like, holy cow. We don't.
But on Wildcard Wednesday, Yellow made a slime. If y'all have kids, y'all made slime out of cornstarch, and y'all do that, right?
That was disgusting.
So,
yes.
Yellow Blueberry made up some slime, colored it with some, I guess, food coloring, some green slime. And I know this is going to be a shock to y'all, but as it turns out, not a great lather, as it turns out.
It's a little sticky.
But
yeah, typically you don't want to use non-Newtonian fluids to shave your face.
But we're glad he did, or she did. I'm not sure the gender. But Yellow, we see you, and we appreciate you.
He's been making art every day. I know there's an art side contest. So,
yep,
probably doing well in that. Maybe.
I'd kind of like to point out what Jungilla did on Wildcard Wednesday.
Please do.
He shaved with cheese oils. He took a bunch of cheese, Gruyere, a bunch of stuff I can't pronounce.
He loves his cheese.
Put it in a pot, melted it all, and carefully removed all the oil that floated to the top of the pot, and used that for his shave.
So, like clarified fondue?
I guess.
Yeah, more or less.
I've completely missed that, and thank you for putting it out. And
see that whoever
utterly disgusting.
Judged that failed us.
No, I love what he says. It says it ranks a tad below modern artisanal soap bases in terms of primary slickness and protection, but unlike artisan bases, residual slickness is identical to primary slickness, and indeed residual slickness as well. I might still be slick tomorrow. Only time will tell.
Wow.
I'm looking who failed us.
I want to know if
I'm looking who failed us because somebody effing failed us.
What I want to know is
I have a guess who it is, but
because we know, we know by now that he is a cheese connoisseur.
All right, so we haven't talked about him. We haven't talked about him in the last hour and a half. Steelers failed us.
Oh, of course. He's probably on a beach in Mexico.
Here's where we
getting
say
drunk right now.
fucking Steelers didn't shitpost. He shitpost True.
might have just not
No.
podcast.
You
Oh.
failed us. I take
Not
back what I
me.
said about
Not me.
Steelers. He tagged it podcast True.
I did not fail it.
He tagged it
He was
podcast
late.
True.
I did this on Friday, sir. But anyway,
And then
He didn't. Yeah.
let's see here.
so I've kind of failed us by not going back and doing it again. But anyway,
Yeah.
sorry. But anyway, so the cheese though, I wonder if that like clarified cheese is like if he like sampled it, ate it, if he either the oil on its own was great or if the cheese minus the oil was great. Because I know he's all about his cheese. So I wonder if
He
if that
loves
experience,
cheese.
yeah, if that like led him to any new, breakthroughs or whatever.
One I thought was funny. Jay Graybill was telling
He's been
about
doing great.
his. Yep, he's doing great. He was telling about his a purchase that he regretted. So he bought a horsehair brush and hated it like so much because it's a horsehair brush.
Has anybody ever
No.
liked the horsehair brush?
This is
Maybe
where
don't-
you
needs
wish
more
it was like a
menthol.
live call-in show, and I would wish if you had a good horsehair brush experience, please call in now.
Oh, does Gary?
Because I've never heard of one.
Does Gary use a horsehair brush?
No, this is where you would hear a call from Needs More Menthol, and he'd be in telling you all about them. Honest to God, he had
No,
so
these are
many
great.
of them.
These are the greatest brushes.
We miss you.
Yeah, I guess
But
if you
Jay
numb your skin
Graybill-
enough with menthol, it's fine.
He hated that brush so much that he felt like it needed to be punished, not just discarded, but actually punished. So he put it inside a dirty diaper, a dirty poo-poo diaper,
Oh God.
because he felt like that horsehair brush needed to be punished for 50 years in the depths of the landfill. So shout out to Jay Graybill. I feel you, man. Those horse brushes, man, there's no good.
Oh my God.
That's awesome.
And then Sema J 3000, he did like a North Korean shave. Did y'all see that one? He fashioned some wares that were dedicated to Kim Jong Il, Kim Jong Sung.
I missed that one.
It was funny. It's a good job. I will link it and see what else we got. Sorry, I should have been better prepared. Sorry,
No, that's all
guys.
right.
If you were better prepared, this wouldn't be what it is.
Oh,
All right, people.
then Junjilla again on Flex Day. Did y'all see that one? So he goes out to a restaurant and orders some tableside tartare.
Oh, we haven't
Did y'all see that one?
talked about that.
Yeah, that was good. So he set up his
Wait, we talked about that last week.
Was that last week? Okay.
Yeah.
I
Flex
just
was
saw
last week.
Okay, well I just saw it today. I'm way behind, but
Yes, that
Okay.
was awesome.
a lot of people this week also used beer as their lather water.
Yeah,
I
I
don't know if y'all
don't know
noticed
why.
that. So silicone barbecue brushes,
Is
silicone brushes, and
Is
beer as lather
alcohol,
water
is
was
alcohol
all the rage.
good at helping with lather?
I've heard it's like not good. What do you call that? When something it doesn't help.
I don't know, man. Like a tetracide. He did one. He did a beer
hindrance?
lather, and he said it turned out pretty well. So
Mm.
maybe
Well, I
maybe it
remember
wasn't terrible.
Declaration had a alcohol soap that was so bad at working with that just no, never again. Or maybe it was his drunk shave of the day. I can't remember. But
I mean,
basically,
if you want to
lather
if you want
and
to talk
alcohol
about
don't
bad
mix.
if you want to talk about bad alcohol soaps, you'd be remiss not to mention Tallow and Steel West Coast IPA, which is one of the one of
Why
the
don't you
goats
talk about
in
it?
the
You go ahead. I want to hear you talk about this.
yeah. It on paper it sounds cool, right? I think we can agree. It's like it's an IPA. It has hops and I don't know, citrus and different things, and because Tallow and Steel is so natural, everything's natural. Nothing unnatural. So he actually used real deal hops in beer, I believe, in that West Coast IPA. And as it turns out, that's not the move. That's not the move you want because, as it turns out, hops, they'll spoil and they'll go rancid or they'll go skunky. And that's absolutely what happened. So if you ever had the pleasure of putting your face inside a West Coast IPA from Tallow and Steel, I've smelled a lot of really bad soaps. A couple of years ago for Lather Games, I went chasing and looking for and finding and sourcing the very worst soaps. If y'all remember that a couple of years ago.
That was my favorite thing.
I've smelled, I mean, I'm talking just rock bottom, basement level horse shit. Like I've smelled a lot. And I got to say that West Coast IPA, it's as bad as anything I've ever smelled. In fact, it was so bad. Like I saw that on my calendar and I was just dreading it. It's like, oh God, no. And so I did it really fast. Like I shaved and I splashed on that aftershave and immediately I like ran down and jumped in the pool immediately.
So
and my wife was like, didn't you just take a shower? Like, why'd you jump in the pool? And I can't tell her, oh, it's because, doing a secret Lather internet contest.
These guys are having their wife shave them for this secret internet shave contest. You can't even admit to your wife what's going on.
No, I mean we actually made a lot of progress this year. So
that's awesome. So happy to hear that.
She's she's not like you're never going to see her like Archie Baca's wife in a deer head and a bikini running through the woods.
Through the woods.
That's absolutely 100% never going to happen. But she's
baby steps.
Again, I've upgraded my situation from the driveway to the master closet. So
is that really upgrade? Is that really upgraded though?
I feel like it is.
I guess you're in the house.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Maybe next year.
Instead of outside sweating,
you got some air conditioning. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, big upgrade. So, but yeah, that West Coast IPA set. You're welcome.
Oh yeah, that was.
Who's got that? Somebody's got that box of crappy soaps. Is it T. Kaner?
Oh, maybe.
Is he who's working?
I remember the story
still?
behind that. So, like, we were at the Maggard meet, and we kind of knew that this month of shit soaps was in your future, and I saw that soap on the table, and I was just thrilled. I was beside myself because I bought it. I bought that set. I opened it up, had a sniff, and I put it on the bazaar before I even lathered. I knew I did not need to lather this soap up. It was so bad. I didn't.
One sniff tells you absolutely everything you need to know.
I did not even open. I didn't break the seal on that aftershave, so I just put it straight on the bazaar. Before everyone else sold theirs. Got back what I paid. But anyway, so this is like a year or two later at the Maggard meet, and I'm there like sniffing this soap. I'm like, oh, this is so bad. This is awesome. And I'm like, I can't wait to run because Itchy Pooter, you were there at that meet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't wait to run this over to Pooter to show him this horrible soap that I snatched. It's unobtainium. But anyway, there was another guy there who's I don't want to like dox anybody, but he's on other forums and stuff. He's not Chronosaur 420, but he's like Dank Master 420 or something like that. Some other weed alias, but
did Llama steal somebody?
It wasn't Llama, no. It wasn't Llama. It was literally like Dank Meister 420 69 or something. But he's like, oh, you want this aftershave? I had it. Or maybe I grabbed the aftershave off the table. He had the soap, but he's like, here, you want this? Because like I was like all excited holding this aftershave. He could tell. Like, yeah, like I can tell like you really want this. Like you're all excited. Like here, you can have it. I'm like, oh, thanks, man. And I was like giddy as hell. But I kind of knew like he was like acting like all like generous with it. But I knew he was like, I want to pawn this shit off. I don't want anything to do with it after he pulled it up. But so that was pretty cool. To have someone else be so generous with that unobtainium to give it to me so that I could give it to Pooter for him to torture himself with.
And what's funny, like again on paper, it sounds cool and like that like most Tallow, I pretty much like every Tallow and Still artwork, it looks really good. But when you pop that top or when you splash that aftershave, It is an app hair. Wish I had more thumbs. So I give it 4 thumbs down. Yeah, it's lots of people using beer for better or worse, mostly for worse. But like I said, Tetracide, he said he had a pretty good time with it. So maybe it's not altogether bad.
So in a couple of earlier episodes, I know. So Steven talked about some of the prizes. We know there's a custom Wolfman. You pick what you want. A stainless Wolfman. That's got to be worth, I don't know, a lot of money. And then there's still Mr. Stewart's Mystery Prize, which if it's got a custom brush in it, it's worth at least what, $1,000. And what we'll add to tempt you this time is we mentioned it very early on that Ben from Mammoth is going to offer a scent based on his impression of you. So that sounds pretty interesting.
That's a
And
cool prize.
that's Ben's pretty good at making sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one new thing we'll tease tonight is Chiseled Face. For those who haven't been following him on Instagram, bought it's called a mill. I guess it's called a mill.
Yep, CNC mill.
He's going to begin making razors, titanium razors, and his prototype razor is going to be a prize. So you're going to be the first one to get a taste of the new Chiseled Face titanium razor that's coming out. There is so those are kind of those are two prizes that you can't buy, right? You can't buy a custom. Ben's a capitalist. You can probably pay him to buy a custom Mammoth frag. There's only one or a handful of Chiseled Face titanium razors. You can't buy those. And I believe we've got a third kind of priceless prize that you'll have to wait and see. So we've got some great prizes. I think there is over 50 prizes in all.
Yeah, it's off the charts. So we might even see more coming in. We'll see. But if you put in the effort this year, you're definitely going to get a prize. Not to say what it will be, but yeah, top 50 or so. If you shaved every day, I don't have the stats. I don't know if we'll get to that if we have those, but basically, I have a feeling that if you completed probably 30 themes, you're
It's
walking
tight.
away with a prize. Is it tight?
It's tight. I mean, we've got about 120 people posted every day. So
I think 90 have shaved all 25 days. Not necessarily being on theme every day, but
Yeah, that's
90
kind of the
people have
point.
posted every 25 days.
the one thing I'll give you going into your last couple days is sponsors.
Definitely.
Make sure you're using the sponsors. I said it at the end last year. I'll say it again. It's going to be the difference.
It
It
will.
makes a big difference.
And even if you can muster up a little bit of effort in your write-ups, if you've just been here's my gear, here's my shave, you don't necessarily have to try to shit post, but just tell us
The
what it
scores are
smells. Yeah, tell us what it smells like. Tell us how the shave was, what your irritation was. Just write a couple paragraphs or something just to get a few more points. It might be close.
Whether you think you're one of those top players, it's really tight at the top. So bring it.
Yeah, definitely.
Every single, don't let up.
Yeah, so we only have a few days left. We're recording this. It's Saturday, the 26th. So by the time this is posted, you only have a few days left. The upcoming days that we haven't talked about yet. Let's get into those.
All right, so on Sunday, we have Scrumptious Sunday. This is the food, drink, gourmand day. Make sure your soap actually smells like something that you could eat or drink. The mere presence of something edible in it doesn't make it edible. On Monday, we have Influencer Day. This is a day where you use something that has been gifted to you or won or was a freebie. Doesn't matter. Something you didn't pay for, and you are supposed to give it an honest review. And you can't see it, but I've got finger quotes going around the word honest. Tuesday, Rest in Peace Day. This is for brands that are no longer in production or have closed up shop, etc. Brands that have just changed their name doesn't count. And then Wednesday is the last day of the Lather games, and that is fall out of Lather games. That is for fall and autumn scents or fall and autumn holidays. And remember, if it's a scent marketed for another season or it doesn't say anything about the season, probably not going to earn points. I think it's pretty easy to guess which brand is going to see the most use on Wednesday. There's only one brand out there that entirely specializes in spooky soaps. So,
What brand is that, Stephen?
Like tallow and steel? That thing's spooky.
And then that'll be it. That'll be another Lather games in the book.
yeah, you can post a Canada Day shave on July 1st, but it's not going to earn you any points.
So since we are merely days away from the end of the games, for the sake of all the logistics involved, what we would like to do is go ahead and have all the players fill out the survey where you rank the prizes that are available. And what I'll say is that unfortunately we don't have enough prizes for all of the 150 some people who have participated, and so you might be filling this out kind of in vain. But right now we don't know who is going to get prizes, so we're going to ask that everybody fill it out. And if you didn't participate all 30 days, odds are you probably will not get a prize. But so if people can go ahead and do it now, then when the time comes for us to announce the winners and everything, it'll be a lot easier for us to chase down all the sponsors and say, this is who's getting this prize and this is who's getting this prize, so that you guys won't have to wait as long for the prizes. So there's a link to a Google survey in the podcast posts on Reddit in the write-up. So if you can take that, put your username, put your shipping address, and just rank the prizes. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. All right, so all that said, that's going to do it for us this week on the official Reddit.com Our Wetshaving Lather Games 2021 podcast. There are only a few days left, and this competition could not be closer. So keep going. The finish line is in sight, but don't slack, because the winner is far from decided. And to all of our remaining competitors, all of our spectators, our sponsors, those of you who just love weird internet shaving games, to all of you, may the suds be ever in your favor.
Jesus, the notorious just.